Welcome to the Lean In Podcast, where we tackle life curveballs with wisdom, a dash of humor, one laugh at a time. I am your host, Shiro Mwangi, and today we will be talking about intentional living. And why intentional living? Because life is short. I remember Oprah once saying, life is short even on your longest day. I had a friend who once told me, you need to dare and do stuff because some people die having never lived. I also did a class, one of those classes that you do when you're in your 20s. I remember we were being told some people died at 35 to be buried at 70. What does that mean? It means that you just stopped living at 35, at 25. You felt like your life sucked so much that you stopped making any effort. You're just existing, you're just flowing through life, and life is amazing. It's always said that life is too short to do ABCD, but I believe life is also too long to do ABCD. I am in my half life. In my family, we live for very, very many years. My grandmother passed away at 90 something, 95. So I believe that is my portion. So that means I still have 50 something years to live. So that's a long time. As humans, we keep saying, I will do ABCD when? I will, for example, maybe start saving, or maybe I'll start traveling when I start getting this job that allows me to earn more money, etc. Don't postpone your life. Live with intention. Don't postpone what you can do today to tomorrow, because we are not assured of tomorrow. As cliche as it may sound, a lot of people in their old age, a lot of people who are dying regret the things they never did, regret the life they never lived. So dare to be different, dare to do those things that scare you. One of the things that I did afraid and is the podcast. It's something that I had been postponing for such a long time, brainstorming and thinking about it for a very long time. But I kept second guessing myself and thinking about what if I'll do when I lose more weight, when I attain my ideal weight, when maybe I have the scripts all together, when I am very clear on what I'm going to talk about. It's like, you know what, just do it. When you have an intention to do something and you set your mind to it, just sort of figure out the one step and intentionally move forward. So how do I live my life with intention? If you're joining us for the first time, I am a single parent to 3 amazing human beings. So I've always been a very structured person, and I love living well. I love the good life. So from the outside in, you will think I am balling and making a lot of money. Well, I am comfortable, but what I do, I intentionally plan my life, I intentionally plan my year. As I'm starting a new year, I have a vision board. Initially, it used to be something that I would stick to. Then somewhere along the way, it became just a good to have, because my friends knew I used to do vision boards, so I would do and forget about it. As the last couple of years, as I've grown older again, it has become my sort of guideline. So it's what holds me accountable, what keeps me accountable throughout the year, and how it helps me live intentionally. It's like the wheel of life, for example. How I did these years and last year's vision bodies. I look at the wheel of life. So what are the key, critical, important things in my life? So there's family, there are friends, there are relationships, there's finances, my spirituality, my health and fitness. And then I will outline that. So for example, in fitness, health and fitness, what am I going to do? Let's say eat clean 80% of the time. It never works, but well, I have every intention to do it. And exercising 4 days a week or something like that, that's something that is there. It's looking at me every morning. So it helps me stay committed to my to my goal. So it helps me live my life intentionally. So when I wake up in the morning, for example, when I talk about spirituality, I want to do my devotion. So it will help me intentionally create healthy habits, create habits that help me achieve or get me closer to achieving my goals for the year. Find what works for you as regards living with intention, and plan your year around that. What are those things that you need to do? A couple of years ago, I had every intention to get out of debt. Because again, if you have watched other episodes, you'll see that how I ended up, because of my mental space, I ended up finding myself in quite a bit of debt. So I had every intention to get out of debt in X period. That means every single month, work backwards, every single month, I have to put away X amount of money to go towards that. So I am that girl who has spreadsheets. I have virtual envelopes I am intentionally saving for my holiday in December, and I start that in January. So come December, my kids and I are off to an amazing place. It just didn't happen. I started planning for it. There was intention from the very get-go. And you can't plan what you don't have clarity of. So for you to live with intention in every area of your life, you have to have mental clarity. You have to have clarity of purpose, clarity of vision. What are you working towards? And I think that I have really found works when it comes to living with intention is decluttering your mind. When I was dealing with so many things in my life, my mind used to be really noisy, and I would fill it up with more things because I didn't want to sit and focus on what was really going on in my head, in my mind, in my heart. But the minute I started intentionally working on that and unpeeling one layer at a time, actually unpeeled, and I walked into a really good version of who I am today. And it's a journey. I'm still walking and working towards becoming my next best self. So who I am today, what I am today is not what I'm going to be next year. It's not what I'm going to be next week, because I'm evolving, I'm growing. I want to better myself intentionally, better myself every single day. So you declutter your mind, declutter your house, declutter even your phone book. Who are all those people in your phone book? Some of them you don't even know. You have Sujui who of Maka, you have Sujui Buddha Rider, Sujui from where. Declutter your spaces, your mental space, your house, your living space. I recently went into my wardrobe painfully because there's some clothes I had been hanging on to, because I had every intention of losing another 10-15 kgs like this. So I've been hanging on to them for the last 2 years. I've not worn them. Some of them still had tags. And I really emptied my wardrobe because I haven't worn these things in how long. That's part of decluttering. Actually felt really good. And I'm able now to add little significant pieces that I know I'm going to wear and they will work for me. And those things that I was holding in my wardrobe, in my closet, have actually been able to help somebody else. Living with intention requires that you be present in every space that you're in. I used to be really bad with names. You will tell me your name. I'm being introduced to 4 people. By the time I'm getting to the 4th person, I've forgotten what the first person was called. And I would say I am just really bad with names. One of my friends used to get very frustrated with me because she'd be like, Shiro, you just need to find a unique identifier. What is it about this person? What is it about Anne that will help you identify that that's her name? And I came to realize I just was not present enough. So I'm being told somebody's name, I'm shaking their hand, but my mind is racing many other places and thinking about 20 other things. I have intentionally gotten myself to being present. So when I'm shaking somebody's hand, I'm actually thinking, what is it about her hairstyle? It's amazing. I like her eyes. I will not forget her name. I will not forget their name. So it was not like I was really bad with names. I was just really bad at being present. If you go for coffee with a friend or a meal or something and you place your phone on the table, that person does not feel like they're the most important focus at that particular moment. And what happens is your phone will ring, a text message will come through, and even if you don't answer, instinctively you'll just look at it and you have lost focus on what were we talking about. So you look at it and like, okay, then you flip it. That's what we do. And they're like, oh, sir, what were we talking about? So be intentionally present. If I know I'm going to spend a few minutes with you, I will put my phone away in my bag. Something that I have had to work on, especially now that my kids are teenagers and they're growing and everybody is working with their nose on their phone. Every evening, we're going to sit in the sitting room and do a lot of nothing. We're going to do a lot of nothing together. So we recently got a 1,000-piece puzzle and everybody just like, oh, mommy. So you have to sit in the deal. So once we're done with the puzzle, we will have junk food for dinner. We'll order for pizza or something like that. So I intentionally have learned, if I'm having dinner with my kids, if I'm having alone time with my kids, and kids model behavior. So I can't say, everybody put away your phones, and I'm walking around with my phone because I'm waiting for an important text or an important message. So intentionally, the few minutes, the quality time that I have put away for the kids, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. I'm going to put my phone away. I'm going to leave it in my room. Sometimes I even put it on flight mode, because these kids are very important to me. And with my firstborn heading out to college, I realized time is just slipping through. They're just growing, and within no time I'll be an empty nester. So let me value the time that I have with them and do everything that I can to make it count. I have also adopted some habits. I don't know whether to call them habits, but I've also adopted some practices that help me live intentionally. Forgiveness is one of them. I used to be that person who would really keep and hold on to grudges. I realized it would be messing me up. You see a person, you feel really bad, and they moved on. Maybe they don't even know they wronged you. Even if they did, maybe it's just their habit of wronging people and they feel nothing about it. So I learned to forgive, let go and let God. And forgiving does not mean we'll become friends again, depending on the level of misdemeanor, depending on what you've done or how we have fallen out. By me forgiving you does not mean we go back to where we were. It means that I'm setting myself free. I'm setting my heart free. I'm liberating myself. I am not allowing these negative feelings to occupy my heart and to take space in my life. As I'm forgiving others, I've learned to forgive myself as well, because we're all human and we mess up big time. And sometimes you'll do things and you'll come back and go like, what was I thinking? I saw that coming. Why did I do that? So I've learned to be very, very compassionate with myself, intentionally take stock of what I have done. When I am in a space that ends up not very nicely, I'll introspect and see, what did I do? What could I have done differently? So how do I forgive myself? What have I learned out of it? So living with forgiveness, forgiving others and forgiving myself, has really helped give me a free kind of life. Having boundaries is also another way of really living with intention. So this is my alone time. This is how far you can come, even in terms of emotionally and stuff like that. When you are talking about work, how you're spending time with people, how you're showing up for people, how people are showing up for you, what kind of boundaries have you put? What kind of emotional boundaries have you put for yourself to protect yourself? What spaces will you not go? What spaces will you not allow yourself to go into? Because maybe they'll trigger something, because they will lead you to do something that maybe you will not like. So living with intention means also being able to say no and realizing that no is a complete answer. That comes with a lot of self-awareness and a lot of work. Knowing that I'm not going to do A, B, C, D, and I do not owe you an explanation. I'm just not going to do it because it didn't serve me. And that's fine. That works for me. That's okay. I talked about financial planning. Very, very important. Because if you do not plan your finances, failure to plan is planning to fail. In finances, that's 100%. Your salary comes. Those of us who are waiting, who are employed and you wait for a salary at the end of the month. If you don't have a plan, if you're not living with an intention, I talked about the little virtual envelopes that I have. That means money will come and just disappear. I intentionally plan every single month, at the beginning of every year. This is what I'm going to spend. This is how I'm going to spend it. This is what I'm going to save. This is how I'm going to save it. This is what I'm going to invest. This is how I'm going to invest it. And by planning my finances very, very deliberately, it ensures that I have financial freedom at the end of my working life. It ensures that I am able to enjoy the little luxuries that I'm able to do with my children, because I am intentionally putting away this money. I'm intentionally planning the finances that I have to ensure that I am able to live the life that I want to have within my means, obviously. I've also learned to laugh at myself and laugh at other people. I'm that friend, if you fall in front of me, before I pick you up, I'm just going to first laugh at you. Same way, I laugh at myself. I laugh at my mistakes, because life is already so hard as it is. So let's find ways of making humor. My legacy is live, laugh, love, and leave a legacy. So I want to laugh until my sides hurt. And my well-being, intentionally ensuring that whatever I am consuming in terms of watching, listening to, eating, how much time am I carving out for my wellness? How much time am I carving out for exercise? How much time am I carving out for my hobbies? That's intentional living. I have also learned to just sort of slow down. A few years ago, my life was really fast. I was always moving. My sister would always call me and I am moving. We were always talking when I'm in the car, moving from one place to the next to the next. She would always ask me, when do you rest? I was such a busybody. So nowadays I've just learned to slow down, take it easy. My alone time is time that I really treasure. And a friend of mine recently told me, I love walking, I love nature. So whenever I would be walking, I'd have AirPods in my ears. I'm listening to music. It was my time to just listen to music, enjoy a nice podcast or something like that. And she told me, when you're walking, when you're out there, just observe nature. Look at the different hues of green. And I was like, oh, yeah, actually. You don't realize when you're walking and you look at the trees, not all of them are the same color. We have different shades of green. And when I start looking at that, I start appreciating nature more. That helps me be present, one with nature, one with that particular moment that I am in. If I am hiking or I'm golfing or whatever, you'll find I'm stopping to take pictures. I love flowers, especially that period where we have jacarandas blooming. I have gazillions of flowers because I've trained myself to a level of I am appreciating my surroundings, my environment. So learn to slow down, declutter your spaces. Be very intentional also with your friendships. Who are you letting into your life? Romantically, into your relationship, not just friendships. Romantically, your friendships, your businesses. Who are you letting into your space? How valuable is your time for you? How much do you value your goals? How are you committing to them? How are you ensuring that you're living with intention as you start a new year, as you start a new week, as you start a new day? How do you break down the things that you need to do to ensure that nothing is just happening by chance? Everything is happening because you intended for it to go that way. We obviously align with God's purpose, but you can't just say, okay, God, show me. You also have to have a plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to move. This is how I'm going to do it. So don't live your life on autopilot. Don't allow noise. Don't allow clutter. Live with intention, choose wisely, choose yourself, choose your well-being, prioritize that what is working for you. And I do wish you well as you choose to live with intention during this period, wherever this period is in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. See you on the next episode.